We are the original Saturday Menudo Club, except no substitutes. Ya no más.
The views and opinions expressed in the Saturday Menudo gatherings, livecasts, or videos do not necessarily reflect the views of the club, its sponsors, the hosts, or its supporters. All content is for information and entertainment purposes. We do support free speech.
For our mystery guest, but we're going to move on to our next guest. She has visited our club before. She brings a powerful, powerful testimony. This is something that affects every family in some way, shape, or form, and it is a very sincere, from the heart message. I would like you to please give a round of applause to Miss Sara. Believe me, you don't want to miss what she has to testify to as a testimony of her personal life and also helping those in need from here forward. Come on, Miss Sara.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor being here for the second time at the Menudo Club. Thank you so much. A big shout out for my big friend Claudia Govea. She's awesome. She is awesome. And I'm going to share very fast a little bit of my story, and then we're going to start talking a little bit about the data. It's very alarming here in the United States. Y'all can tell by my accent, I'm still working on that, so be merciful, that I'm from Brazil. And I married that handsome Texan right there. That's how I got here. But I came from a very dysfunctional family. Unfortunately, in Brazil, I was the victim of many ideologies. But it didn't start with communism. It didn't start with feminism or gender ideology. It started with my family basis in my household. It started with one of my brothers, unfortunately, involved with drugs, hard drugs, narcos, cartels. He was very violent, terrible person, I would say, and he will come up under drug effects. He will beat up my mom, beat up my dad, beat up me. I grew up in a very violent household. It was really hard. At the age of 16, he kicked me out of my house. My parents were also victims of his violence. They couldn't control him. They were scared. I started to live with some relatives, but if anyone here already lived with relatives, y'all will know that the first week everybody loves you and they will help you. The second week started, and the third week they don't want you there anymore. So I ended up on the streets. I ended up in prostitution. I've been abused. I've been neglected, raped, you tell. It was really hard. At the age of 16, I was in the streets, and I started to hate God. I started to hate men. I started to hate family. It was just really hard. And it was in this age that I just, through the media, through the educational system, I came up with this feminism thing. It was everywhere. All this beautiful propaganda of my body, my rules, independence, empowerment, girls' power, and all that. And I was, wow, that's so awesome. Maybe if I joined this feminist movement, this women's liberation movement, because I went on Google, and on Google it was written that it was something amazing. They're fighting against violence against women. They're fighting against rape culture and everything that I was actually suffering at that time. I thought maybe if I join to this ideology, I'm not gonna suffer all this anymore. I'm gonna heal my heart. So I did. I did join many liberal movements, really big. In the year 2012, I was funded to go to a boot camp in Ukraine. And I was trained in Ukraine in how to be a liberal feminist activist. I was brought back to, and it wasn't just me. There was at least 40 other girls from Mexico, United States, Germany, United Kingdom, a lot of different countries, and those boot camps still are there and in many other countries. I'm not saying that every 14, 15-year-old feminist girl is going to go to Ukraine, but they will be completely taken and kidnapped through their mind for people who went, for people who are on power. So I came back to Brazil and I was funded and I became the most famous and relevant feminist and liberal personality in Brazil. And I kept being funded and they were always telling me what should I protest about, what should I organize. And the main things that they told me to protest against was Christianity. Allegedly, according to this global feminist and liberal world, Christianity is the basis of oppression of minorities. So we should eliminate Christianity, and then we should eliminate the family because the family is just an oppressive institution. And now I was so hurt. I was so hurt that I actually believed it. I always had good intentions. I believed in what I was being told and taught. So I was moving forward. At the age of 22 years old, I got pregnant. And as the most famous feminist in Brazil, my leadership, my friends, they said, you know what, this is actually a great opportunity. You should have an abortion because this is going to help us because in Brazil abortion is illegal. So if the biggest feminist, biggest liberal celebrity, female liberal celebrity in the country have an abortion, we will have everything we have that we need to push the matter on the Supreme Court. And I said, well, maybe because I don't want a baby right now. And they said, what are you talking about? This is not a baby. This is not a human being. This is not, this isn't a thing. This is just a blob of cells. This is just a blood clot. This is not a human being. And they told me, you have to have an abortion. We're going to help you. And I said, okay, if this is going to help women in need, if this is going to help women, I'm on it. All I want is to help women. If this is going to liberate women, it's okay. I volunteer. And the doctor who helped me, she will come like twice a year to America to receive trainings, abortion trainings with Planned Parenthood. And one of the things that it really scares me, and I don't know if Americans are aware of that, but y'all probably know that immigrants, people from South America, from Latin America, we look up to America so much. It's like everything that is made in the United States for us immigrants, like, wow, that's so special, right? If I come back to Brazil now with a MAC lipstick, my friends will be like, whoa, this is so cool. So when the doctor told me, this is normal in America, every woman has abortions there, it's legal, it's been 50 years that it's legal, this is completely normal. We're talking about abortion pills, chemical abortions. So I said, well, if American women are doing that, I don't think there's a problem because we look up to America. And everything that it's done here in America, other countries, we want to copy, we want to live like the best country in the world, right? So that was completely irrelevant for me to take a decision. And I went ahead and I had an abortion. And they told me it was safe, they told it was empowering. They told it was that I would feel independent. I didn't feel any of that. I felt terrible. It was horrible. It was completely horrible. They don't tell you what truly happens. And I'm not going to be graphic here because we're eating, we have kids here. But it was just terrible. And I kept bleeding. And I used the same method that women are using here in the US. I took the abortion pills. I kept bleeding for 10 days. And one day I woke up in the middle of the night and I was bleeding so much, the tip of my fingers were turning blue. I was vomiting and I couldn't walk. I called all my feminist friends asking for help, like 7, 8, 9 feminist friends. And they said, don't worry, we're coming for you. I waited 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. No one came. They actually let me to die. The only one who actually came was my neighbor, who literally had to kick the door down in my apartment to get me and put me in his truck, and he drove me to the hospital with his wife, and they saved my life. And I used to hate that neighbor. Y'all know why? Because he was a white male Christian, and he was like my ideological enemy. I used to hate him, and it was that Christian man who saved my life. And they took care of me for many, many, many months as I was their own daughter. And then I started to recover, and God gave me so many more chances. And that's who I am today. I studied a lot. I was in the year of 2019. Well, I forgot to say that, because I was saved by God, because I was saved for Christian people, I decided to come back to the church. So I am a proud Catholic Christian, and I love God. And I do understand why I had to go through all that. I stopped asking why, and now I can see that it's not why, it's for what.
Amen.
And I've been talking about this ideologies, gender ideology, feminism, communism, and all that, abortion, for over 10 years in over 20 countries, and that's what I love to do. I teach and I coach parents in how to prevent their kids turning into liberals. I'm right now opening a nonprofit, and it's called Raising Non-Liberal Kids, because we have a lot of nonprofits and people work in public policy, and I love that. In the year 2019, I was invited for our former president, Jair Bolsonaro, to be the national coordinator for maternal policy, and we did a great job. So I had a high position in the government. But what I love to do is talk to parents, is talk to teenagers, is talk to kids, because before the public policy, before we work at the government level, we need to work for our families. We need to put our families on charge again. America is going through a therapeutical epidemic. What do I mean by that? Parents, especially my generation, 40 under, we don't know how to be parents. We don't know. We're doing our best, but we are so lost. We are so lost, guys, that we don't know what to do. My son needs therapy. My son needs therapy. Some kids need therapy, but not all of them. We never had so much therapy and antidepressants for kids, adolescents, and young adults. I will read just a couple of data before I finish, so you will know. And we are not talking about Brazil. We're not talking about Mexico. We're not talking about any of these underdeveloped countries. We're talking about America. And it's so alarming, because I came here and I love this country. I am very passionate, and I love Texas. I do. It's been 2 years that I've been living here in the U.S., but I thought you guys were better. It seems that we have the same problems, right? So we need to work to figure things out. So 50% of the young people from 18 to 42, they are all with sexual diseases. Actually, it's so much. They are 30% of the young people, they identify as LGBT. 35% of young people, they do what is called binge drinking. 40% of adolescents relate with deep sadness and anxiety disorder. 54% of all abortions in America is done by women from 20 to 24. And sometimes we think that our daughter, our son, they turn liberals because of college. It's not because of college. Because the liberal seed is planted when they're still very young. It's divorce, it's a family problem. Mom is working a lot, dad is working a lot. We don't have attention. Now, we have all this problem with the school board of education. If mom is working, if dad is working, who is raising our kids? So we need to figure that out. So the purpose of my nonprofit is teaching and coach parents and how to raise non-liberal kids, exploring and navigating through virtues and values. We don't need to teach kids that Donald Trump is the best. They're too young for that. But we need to teach them about prudence, about justice, about honest, about honor. Sometimes parents, they don't know how to talk about very complicated topics. How can I teach my kids what a homosexual person is? How can I teach about pornography with my kids? Well, we got the solution through Christian values. And we want to guide y'all that. I'm just opening this nonprofit. I'm still figuring things out, but I can feel my heart beating. And I want to thank you everybody and just say that God gave me so many chances and He actually gave me the best chance of my life. Because when I got in the hospital, one of the things that the doctor said that because of the abortion wounds, I will never be able to have another child. But I had my second chance, and my second chance is right here. So thank you very much. And I will be here around, and my kids are working for me today, so I will ask them to leave some of my cards with y'all, because that's how we give responsibility to kids. And I also have my book. It's available in Spanish. It's called Cómo fabricar a una feminista y cómo rescatarla de la prisión de falsa libertad que se le prometió. Entonces, I tell a little bit of my story and some tips about how we can guide our kids to virtue, values, and honor. Thank you so much.